Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. So happy to welcome back our friends for Not for Sale, One Step at a Time. We've got Kathy Gray and Heather Scott here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, it's wonderful that you could make your way over here again. We always love when you're able to stop by. You gals are doing such incredible, awesome work, and you have our admiration and our thanks, and we're just so happy to have you here again.
And we're excited to be here.
Yay. Well, first of all, somebody might be new in town and not familiar with Not for Sale, One Step at a Time. So who are you?
We are a nonprofit organization that focuses on educating and bringing awareness to the human trafficking issue that we have.
And how bad is this issue?
Well, Ohio is the fourth largest traffic state in our country. So clearly we have an issue.
If we can just stop, pause, and get our heads wrapped around that. There are 50 states, first of all, and there are a lot bigger, and you think of more cosmopolitan type areas. Why Ohio? That just seems very hard to believe.
Yeah, we're the kind of a central location for the highway system. So whether you're going to New York or California, you're coming through Ohio. So we have a hub here with truck stops and things like that.
So truck stops seem to be the real bugaboo, huh? It's tricky if there are many truck stops.
We have many truck stops as well as just our highway infrastructure. It's so easy to get anywhere. You can travel to many different states in a day. So for Ohio, it's just like Heather was saying, it's that hub for them to be able to traffic children.
So if you know this, and now I know this, certainly the police know this.
Yes.
And can they spend some time at truck stops? And is there more of an effort to be near these hubs to be able to prevent this from happening?
Yeah, I think that they are on top of it. When we met with the detective last year, they're definitely doing what they can. There's a lot of educational programs that, just like cosmetologists have to go through, that now truck drivers are going through to be able to spot those things and help to try to find where those things are happening and to stop them.
Because, yes, I'm thinking there are a lot of awesome truck drivers who would want to help prevent this as well. And I think get them on board. They wouldn't want their industry tainted with this.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's tricky. Okay, so you have a unique approach. You've got more than just, you're certainly awareness, but you are aiming for schools and so forth. Tell me a little bit about who you are in what makes you different.
For us, we really want to focus on the educational piece and the prevention piece. As you said, we do have a lot of other organizations locally that do so many different things, and they're so valuable to us. But for us, we feel our calling is to educate and to prevent and to bring that awareness and to be a part of different events throughout the year where we can do that. And one of those ways is we'd love to get into the high schools and start a curriculum through A21, which I know we'll talk about soon, but do a curriculum where we can get into the schools and actually help prevent any more kids from being trafficked.
Well, help us understand. Let's educate us here first. Okay. What kinds of trafficking are there? There's different types, and there's so much we need to know about how this happens. Help us understand.
Absolutely. Well, we have sex trafficking, as you know, and that's forcing, deceiving, or coercing a person to perform a commercial sex act.
What age groups are we talking about here?
Sad to say, it's ages 8 to 18. So I know that is overwhelming to hear precious little ones at 8 years of age, or any child, any human being, but that is our age range. Now, it doesn't just stop there. It can be adults, it can be younger kids than that, but that's the primary age. And
you literally just made me dizzy.
Yeah.
Where are these children coming from? Are these the missing children when we get an Amber Alert? Are these runaway children? Who are these 8-year-olds?
I'll tell you, any kids that are missing, the first thing we think about is, are they being trafficked? Because that is something that absolutely happens. Are they runaways? Yes, some of them are. Are they children that are just shopping and having a good time and out with other friends? Yes. Are they kids from social media? Yes. So there's a whole different areas, I should say, where kids can be trafficked, and we'll definitely, educate you guys on that later, for sure.
So sex trafficking, that's horrific. There's other types?
There's forced labor, which is forcing a person to work in captivity for little to no money. There is bonded labor, forcing a person to work for low wages to pay back an impossible debt. There's involuntary domestic servitude, which that's a new one. It's forcing a person to work and live in the same place with little to no pay. And then unfortunately, in a lot of the third world countries, there's child soldiers, which is forcing a child to participate in an armed force, like a child, like a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old. So these are the different types of trafficking that we're talking about.
The first three that you just said there sound like slavery.
Absolutely.
I thought slavery has been not legal since we've passed all kinds of laws of the last 100 years, 150 years or so. How is this possible? I guess I just throw up my hands and say, how is this possible?
We have millions of slaves in this world, which is more than ever before in human history.
It's unbelievable.
To me, that is unfathomable. That we have such a problem, which is why organizations like ourselves and others are desperately trying to get the word out to eradicate any type of slavery forever. But it's a problem. I mean, it's the worst in history.
And this crosses cultural lines, racial lines, nationalistic lines.
It is not gender specific. It's not race specific. It's not based on social status. No matter what, it's about a human life.
Yes.
And what we're trying to do is go after that one because it's so overwhelming. We obviously can't save millions of them at one time. But if we each go after that one, then we'll be able to accomplish that goal over time.
Are these young people who have, again, what are the ages for the forced labor? What are these?
Ages,
Same
8
to
to
18. Are these people who would suddenly drop off the grid and not be at school or something? I mean, this is school-aged children.
Well, some of this is using the immigrants that come over to our country and lying to them, letting them know, oh, we have a job for you. We have work for you. And actually just taking advantage. They don't understand our culture. They don't know our customs. They don't even speak our language. So they're trying to trust people that they don't know. So that's where some of this is happening.
Are these children who are traveling with another adult who is perhaps trafficking them?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it's their own, like you're saying, their own family members.
So
because they're so desperate for income. They're so desperate for money. This is a money-driven business. And I really want to be clear about that. It's a $150 billion industry. So people are making money off of abusing someone else's body, someone else's just human life. That's what we have to look at.
Well, it's hard enough to understand when a child is a runaway or somehow gets sucked into something and or is kidnapped or, you know, all kinds of horrible scenarios. It is unfathomable to think of a family member trafficking their own child.
Absolutely.
And yet you're seeing this.
Yep, we're seeing that. Or we're seeing where because of the drug epidemic that, you know, these younger kids get caught up in the drugs and, like she had said, needing to pay back for getting the drugs, or now on top of trafficking the drugs, they are now being trafficked for that. So,
okay, wow. Does the world need Jesus or what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
All right, A21, you mentioned. They've been around a while, and you're affiliated with them some way. So tell us a little bit about A21, because we've talked about the problem. We need to talk about the answer.
Oh, absolutely. And we do need hope. And obviously, Jesus is our number one only hope. But we do have amazing people in our country and all across the globe that have a heart for human life. And so A21 means abolish slavery in the 21st century. And their mission is to go after that one and to free every slave and to end slavery of any type. So that's their number one goal and mission. And they created the Walk for Freedom to take the knowledge that we're all teaching everyone and apply it, and to come out one day for less than 2 hours and to come together as a community and take a stand against human trafficking.
We're going to get the logistics about this, but tell us, when is this and where is it taking place?
Oh, we're so excited for it. It is October 20th, and it's at Bitzer Park, right here in the heart of North Canton, right beside the North Canton YMCA.
All right. There's walks for everything. Why should a person say, I'm going to walk for this?
My personal opinion is it's about a human life. Who shouldn't walk for another human being? And it's about your sister, your daughter, your son, a loved one. It affects every human being, this subject alone. It's no respecter of race or age or social status. It's specifically about a human life. We have to take a stand. As I stated before, it's the worst slavery in history. We can't stand back. We can't turn a deaf ear or a blind eye. Now that we have that knowledge, we feel we have a moral responsibility to take action.
Absolutely. And, in our community, it's raising that awareness. Most people hear human trafficking and they think third world country.
Yes.
Not my own
for sure.
backyard.
Exactly.
And we've done this walk 2 years in a row now, this being our third. And every time, as we're walking, we're handing out our pamphlets, and people are just shocked with the stats we're giving them that, oh, we're number 4 in the country. How's that possible? In the same way that we took your breath away. And I think it raises that awareness. And then people begin to think, well, what can I do? What's the next step? Which is the main reason for the walk, is that let's raise awareness, and then what's the action behind it?
And I know, same with the drug problem, when there's so much money involved, it becomes harder to combat something.
Right.
Yeah. But this is so illegal.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Immoral and illegal. You think slavery, you think 1850s, 1860s, and finally emancipation in 1865. You think we've put that to bed. We've put that to rest.
We haven't.
Unbelievable to see something like this taking place.
Yeah.
A21 recognized this how long ago? How long have they been around?
About 10 years. And they're actually on the front lines. So they're a global ministry. They're in 14 different countries, but they work solely with law enforcement, government officials. So they will go and try and find the trafficked children or people, bring them back, restore them, rehabilitate them, and help them get back into society.
How hard is that? Because I would think once somebody has played mind games with you, if they've talked you into becoming a slave.
Well, they're quoting on their website, it's less than 1% can be rescued. And it's really hard to find them. This is an underground industry. So once a child is trafficked, it is hard to find them. But that doesn't mean we stop.
Right.
We don't give up hope. We don't give up trying. And there are so many organizations that are out there looking and searching and finding. So I do believe and have hope that we will keep finding more children. But it's a hard industry. And it's just getting to know the ins and the outs of how these traffickers work.
Is there a network of people like you? Because now that it is becoming a little bit more, light has been shed on it.
Yeah,
We're finding out that this is in fact happening.
Yeah.
Are you kind of in some way working together, or how does that work?
Yeah, under A21, you can become an A team in your community, and that's what we established with Not for Sale. And I think there were 300 walks across the globe. Was it across the globe?
Right.
Same day. So the same thing for here, October 20th. We'll be partnering. I'm sure there's even more this year. I don't have the stats on that, but so people seeing that and wanting to bring it to their community to raise awareness. So it is. I mean, it is growing and growing. And I wish I had the stats for you, Susie, but they always send us a booklet, and it shows that since they started across the 10 years that they've been, the bar is going higher and higher of prosecuting the traffickers.
Good.
How many people have been found. So it is, when you look at those stats, they are increasing, and it is showing that they are making a difference.
So there's hope.
It is very hopeful.
There is hope. Well, we've got lots more to talk about, including how people are trafficked in the first place.
Yeah.
Stay with us. We're going to find that out after these words. You're listening to Our Community.